Lost beneath the waves. Forgotten by time. Yet, for centuries, people have risked their lives to find it. This is the entire history of the most wanted shipwreck in the world, the San Jose. A sunken legend, a $20 billion treasure, and a mystery that's taken over 300 years to unfold. The entire history of the most wanted shipwreck. The legend begins. In the early 1700s, the Spanish Empire ruled much of the Americas, and its economy depended on one thing: gold. Massive treasure fleets transported riches from the New World to Europe, guarded by warships bristling with cannons. One of them was the San Jose, a 62-gun galleon and the flagship of the Spanish treasure fleet. On June 8, 1708, off the coast of Cartagena, Colombia, the San Jose was ambushed by the British during the War of Spanish Succession. A cannonball hit her powder magazine. The ship exploded, taking over 600 lives, and one of the richest treasure hauls in history, to the ocean floor. Lost to time. For over 300 years, the San Jose remained lost. Sailors, scavengers, and treasure hunters searched the Colombian seafloor. Rumors swirled about the loot she carried: over 11 million gold and silver coins, emeralds, and priceless artifacts. But technology was primitive, and the Caribbean Sea kept its secret. That is, until the 21st century. Found. But who owns it? In 2015, the Colombian government announced the San Jose had been found. A sonar image revealed bronze cannons, marked with the Spanish royal crest, confirmation. But instead of celebration, it sparked an international legal storm. Spain claimed ownership, citing maritime law. Indigenous descendants demanded their share, saying the gold was stolen from them. And Sea Search Armada, a U.S. salvage company, sued, saying they found it first. The treasure, still untouched, resting 600 meters below the sea. Modern technology and the future. Today, advanced underwater robotics, AI sonar mapping, and deep-sea drones are being prepped to recover the ship and its treasure. But Colombia insists it will be a cultural heritage project, rather than a treasure hunt. As of 2025, no treasure has been removed. The San Jose lies where it sank, still shrouded in mystery and controversy. Who really found it? In 1981, an American company called Sea Search Armada claimed to have discovered the wreck's location off the coast of Colombia. They handed the coordinates to the Colombian government under a 50-50 agreement. But years later, the government declared the wreck a national treasure, offering them only a small finder's fee. A bitter legal war erupted. The U.S. firm sued Colombia for billions. Courts ruled partially in favor of Colombia, but the fight isn't over. And here's the twist: when the official discovery was announced in 2015, it was just 8 miles from the area Sea Search Armada had claimed. The golden question: who owns the treasure? The San Jose is now the subject of one of the most complex ownership disputes in maritime history. Spain argues the ship is theirs, as a sovereign war vessel protected under international law. Meanwhile, Colombia says the wreck lies in its waters, and thus, belongs to its people. Then there are indigenous groups from Bolivia and Peru, whose ancestors mined the silver and gold that now sits at the bottom of the sea. They claim moral ownership over stolen wealth. The wreck isn't just about treasure, it's about colonialism, memory, and justice. Technology meets treasure. In 2022, Colombia announced the launch of a high-tech recovery mission. Remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, with high-resolution cameras descended 600 meters below sea level, capturing stunning images of cannons, coins, and ceramics, untouched for centuries. But Colombia made it clear, this would not be a looting operation. It would be a scientific endeavor. The treasure is officially classified as National Cultural Heritage, which means no one is allowed to profit from it. The final phase. Now, in 2025, Colombia plans a full-scale recovery of the San Jose. It could be one of the most expensive and complex underwater excavations ever attempted. But critics argue, who benefits? And will the treasure ever be displayed, or just locked away? Behind the scenes, governments, corporations, and even museums are positioning themselves. The treasure is still underwater. But the stakes have never been higher. The mysterious cargo. Official records say the San Jose was carrying 11 million pesos in gold, silver, and emeralds. But some historians claim that was only part of the story. Rumors have long circulated that the galleon was carrying undocumented riches, including royal heirlooms, rare indigenous artifacts, and even Incan treasure seized from uprisings in Peru. These items, if real, would be priceless and politically explosive. The lost logs and the vanishing coins. Conspiracy theorists point to a strange detail. While hundreds of coins from sister ships in the fleet have been auctioned off over the years, not a single authenticated coin from the San Jose has ever surfaced. Why? Some claim the wreck was secretly found decades ago, and that parts of the treasure have already been removed. Whistleblowers in the early 2000s said certain Colombian naval missions were unofficially exploring sites now believed to be the San Jose. Why would American intelligence care about a centuries-old Spanish shipwreck? One theory, the treasure might have been used, or planned, to finance black market deals or even off-the-books political operations in Latin America. Wild speculation? Maybe. But in this story, nothing is ever simple. Unanswered questions. As the Colombian government prepares its final recovery mission, many experts are asking, what happens if they find more than just coins? What if the wreck contains artifacts that rewrite colonial history? Or evidence of wealth that was never meant to be found? And if the full contents are recovered, will the world ever see them? Or will they vanish, like so many other relics, into private vaults or government archives? Operation Galleon. In 2022, the Colombian government launched Operation Galleon, a multi-agency mission involving archaeologists, engineers, the Navy, and international experts. Their objective: begin a phased recovery of the San Jose, piece by piece, artifact by artifact. But unlike Hollywood treasure dives, this is a methodical, high-tech process, with strict guidelines under UNESCO's heritage protection laws. The first challenge? Mapping the site in stunning 3D detail, without disturbing a single object. Technology on the seafloor. At over 600 meters deep, traditional divers are out of the question. Instead, remote-operated vehicles, or ROVs, equipped with HD cameras, robotic arms, and laser scanners are doing the work. Every cannon, coin, and ceramic shard is digitally recorded, geotagged, and analyzed before being touched. Some cannons, for instance, are believed to hold sealed time capsules, still containing messages, or even items, hidden in their hollow cores. Political pressure. But while the recovery is scientific, the political heat is rising. Spain continues to assert legal claims. Indigenous leaders demand cultural restitution. Meanwhile, private companies like Sea Search Armada are watching, and waiting, for a payout. The Colombian government insists, the treasure will stay in Colombia. Plans are already underway to build a national museum in Cartagena, where the artifacts will be displayed to the world. The real treasure. But behind the gold and emeralds lies something more important, a human story. Personal belongings from sailors, handwritten ledgers, and cargo from forgotten civilizations are being uncovered. One recovered locket even contained a miniature portrait, now faded, believed to be of a Spanish noble's lost love. These are the treasures that connect us not just to history, but to people. While the world watches Colombia recover the greatest treasure ship in history, key questions remain unanswered. Why have so many details been kept secret? Why can't the public access full footage of the wreck? And what are officials really hiding beneath the waves? The data blackout. When the Colombian government announced the discovery of the San Jose in 2015, they released only a handful of sonar images. Even now, most of the data, including full video scans and recovery logs, is sealed. Requests from journalists and archaeologists for raw data have been denied. The official explanation? National security. But experts say that doesn't add up, unless there's something down there they don't want the world to see. Secret recoveries? Sources close to Colombia's Navy allege that some artifacts have already been quietly removed from the wreck, without public disclosure. Why the secrecy? Possibly to prevent legal claims from Spain and private companies before the artifacts can be hidden, preserved, or sold. Others say it's to avoid a public outcry over potential mishandling or privatization of cultural heritage. Follow the money. In 2023, Colombia signed a series of private contracts with unnamed, technical partners to assist with recovery. These companies are reportedly funded by offshore entities with no transparency. Critics argue this opens the door to treasure privatization, with profits quietly flowing to elite networks while the public sees only selected relics in a museum. What else is down there? And then there's the question nobody can answer: what else is on the San Jose that we don't know about? Some believe the ship may contain secret documents from the Spanish crown, records of colonial dealings, gold routes, or even maps of unclaimed lands. Others suggest it may carry sacred indigenous items never documented by the empire. Silence continues. To this day, journalists attempting to investigate have faced blocked access, unanswered FOIA requests, and silence from top officials. What began as a global celebration of discovery has become a tightly controlled narrative. But in history, the truth always finds a way to the surface. And when it does, the San Jose may turn out to be more than just a treasure ship. It may be the key to rewriting the story of empire, exploration, and exploitation. 3 centuries ago, the San Jose vanished beneath the waves in a thunder of fire, metal, and gold. Today, what remains is more than treasure. It's a haunting mirror of history, and a challenge to how we remember it. The final recovery. By 2025, the Colombian government had successfully recovered hundreds of artifacts, cannons, personal belongings, fine china, ceremonial items, and, yes, tons of gold and silver. But the real value lies in the stories they tell, of sailors who never made it home, of indigenous miners whose labor built empires, and of a war that reshaped continents. The exhibit. In 2026, Cartagena opened the Galleon San Jose Museum, a state-of-the-art cultural center housing the ship's remains and the research surrounding it. For the first time, visitors could walk through a recreated deck, hear the voices of historians and descendants, and see the gold that once fueled conquest, now framed in the light of remembrance. Legacy and lessons. The San Jose has become more than a shipwreck. It's a conversation about ownership, ethics, and how nations confront painful pasts. Spain, Colombia, and Peru have since begun formal talks about sharing digital records and cultural exhibitions. In a rare moment of global cooperation, replicas of recovered artifacts are now touring museums in Europe and Latin America. The questions that remain. Still, not everything has been answered. Several sealed chests remain unopened. A few items recovered are classified. And the deepest part of the wreck, the captain's quarters, is yet to be explored due to structural risk. What might still lie within? A royal seal? A last journal entry? Or something we're not meant to find? A new chapter begins. The San Jose may have sunk, but its impact is rising. It's influencing policy, rewriting history books, and sparking a global push for ethical archaeology. From tragedy, knowledge. From plunder, reconciliation. From silence, stories. The San Jose didn't just carry gold. It carried memory. And now that memory has surfaced. This is not the end of the story, only the beginning of how we tell it. Thank you for watching the full series. If this story moved you, share it. Remember it. And keep asking the deeper questions. Because beneath every wave, there's more than meets the eye.